Hi, this is Charting Man Dan of TheChartGuys.com, home of technical analysis education. Click the link for a free week trial, no credit card required, and gain access to our multiple live broadcasts daily, community chat room, educational videos, nightly watch lists, and more. Invest in your education and future and join the community today. Hey everybody, checking in on the biotech sector. We're going to look at XBI, IBB, and LABD. We're going to hold off on LABU because that chart is pretty much exactly the same as XBI, which it tracks. So let's get into it. XBI, the bears are in full control, and the signal to go bearish, in my opinion, was the loss of the middle Bollinger Band. We can see a big pullback on increasing bearish volume. That's your red flag right there. At first, we had two pullback days, decreasing bear volume. That's normal and healthy. And then we had an attempt to hit a higher high, and we could not do so. We hit a lower high and then a lower low. So as soon as the low of that consolidation, 67.49, broke, that was a signal the bears were strong, and it occurred on increasing bearish volume. From there, we held that middle Bollinger Band support 4 days in a row, and it looked like the bulls were going to pull away and maintain the uptrend. We rejected from the 10-day moving average resistance, lost that support, and the bears have been very convincingly in control since that point in time. And it does now appear that this is a bear flag, this little 4-day consolidation after the big dump, which is a continuation pattern leading to the downside. So since then, we saw a little bullish candlestick off the 50-day. We confirmed it. Couldn't get over that 10-day again. We've rejected from the 10-day moving average resistance twice now. And then this week, it was just an all-out dump. Look at the closes down near the lows of the day. And even Friday, close at the low of the day, indicates further downside is coming. A must-hold level for XBI is 59.10. Break that level, and we break the higher low pattern on the daily time frame, and it convincingly puts the bears in full control. The weekly time frame, 3 weeks of pullback, look what stands out. The increase in bearish volume, the close at the low of the week, and we are on the verge of breaking this higher low pattern we have been in since February. So that's why that 59.10 level is so important, because that higher low pattern has been intact for over 8 months now. If we break that higher low pattern and break 59.10, we very likely see a bearish MACD cross to go with it. And then the next support, the 50-week moving average, is at 58.72. But if we break 59.10, I would expect to test this 200-week moving average before the end of the year down at 53.81. So IBB, if you've been watching my videos, I've been pointing out how the NASDAQ biotechs are weaker than the S&P 500. So in my opinion, if you're playing bullish, you're playing XBI. If you're playing bearish, you're playing IBB. And look at this absolute dump on IBB. Here's that higher low, which is no longer a higher low because IBB broke that level, but that's for XBI. So let's look back and compare. XBI still has the higher low intact from the end of August, early September. IBB has dumped right through it long ago. Bears are in absolute full control of IBB. So you can see the bull volume on this pullback, on these bullish candlesticks, which are rejecting from the 10-day moving average resistance as well, very minimal. Look at that bull volume compared to the bear volume the next day. Almost 300% times the bear volume, which is very convincing and very telling. So the weekly time frame, we can see we've broken that higher low pattern, and $300 psychological resistance rejected IBB multiple times. Now we're testing that 200-week support of 263.46, and then we're looking down at the lows of the year of 240.23 if we lose this level. We can see the bearish MACD cross is a lot more developed and about to occur. And if we lose that, again, if we lose that 200-week, we're looking down at 240.23, 239.67. So LABD has been breaking out, and we had some hesitancy at the middle Bollinger Band resistance, got above it, and now it's just been nice higher lows and higher highs. Breakout above the upper Bollinger Band Wednesday, back test and hold that level Thursday, continuation to the upside Friday, close at the high of the day, and we're looking at our next resistance level, 23.26, and then up to 25.60. Weekly time frame for LABD is closing above the 10-week moving average for the first time in 4 months. We're seeing a bullish MACD cross for the first time in the history of LABD on the weekly time frame, and we see a nice little increase in bull volume. So you can see this $25 psychological resistance level is what rejected the last little bounce attempt. So that's going to be key for the bulls to get over, and the middle Bollinger Band resistance is going to be right there as well. if the LABD bulls can turn $25 into support, we're going to be looking at the potential of a midterm trend change favoring the bulls of LABD, which favors the bears of the biotech sector. And it's important to note that with the election coming up, this election cycle has a couple examples where Hillary Clinton and Bernie Sanders have absolutely destroyed some biotech names, which obviously bring down the sector. So we saw Hillary put out a tweet long ago, right back here at the end of August, that led to two huge dump days in the biotech sector. And then most recently on Friday, we saw Bernie Sanders put out a tweet against ARIA. And let's look at that here on the 5-minute. Here's when the tweet came out. Look at that volume. We saw an 8% dump in 30 minutes due to a tweet. So the Democrats have it out for the biotech sector. And regardless of what your opinions are, it doesn't matter. This is something that we need to pay attention to because it leads to really nice bearish opportunities. And if you're bullish in the biotech sector, it can make you in the red or trigger your stop losses, which should be in place very quickly. So the election cycle does favor the biotech bears because one of the two parties' platforms is pretty much attacking the biotech sector. And keep an eye on LABD and IBB short as we continue to head closer and closer to election day. So I appreciate you watching. LABD and the bears in full control of the biotech sector. And we've been watching the correlation with the S&P 500, and there are often times we saw this week where we would see SPY down maybe 0.2% and the biotech sector down over 2%, very notably standing out as much weaker than the overall market. So I appreciate you watching. Thanks for all the likes and the shares. They make a difference. I hope you have a great weekend, and I will check back in soon.